Hey Virgo rising, welcome to yearly forecast for 2025. You are one of the main characters of 2025 because you are going to go through major life changes. And the reason why is because the destiny points are changing from the Aries and Libra axis into the Pisces and Virgo axis, which means this year, we're going to have the eclipses in your sign and your opposite sign, Pisces. And when we have eclipses in your sign, especially a sign that rules you and your life force, your life path, your life direction, that is a major upgrade, a major life change, a turning point, a new chapter. So we're going to get into all of that. Just bear in mind that everyone's chart is unique. This is just an overall horoscope and forecast for the year ahead. If you want to get deeper, book a one-to-one astrology reading. So let's get straight into it. On January the 11th, that is when the nodes will shift from Aries and Libra into Pisces and Virgo. The South Node, the energy we're moving out of, will be in your sign, Virgo. And the North Node, the energy we are moving into and are growing into, evolving into, will move into Pisces. So what does that mean for you? So your South Node will be in your first house. So this is you, your life, your goals, your life direction, what you want to achieve in this lifetime. It is a major part of you, your consciousness, your identity, and who you're meant to become in this lifetime. And then opposite is the North Node, which is going to be in the 7th house. If the first house is the individual, the 7th house means it's other people. Typically, this is usually your significant other. This is usually a romantic relationship, a marriage, but it can also equally be some sort of partnership that is very important in your life, or significant people in your life, karmic people in your life, okay? So there is going to be a major shakeup and shift in these two areas of life. And a lot of the times when we are evolving as individuals, when we're shifting and changing, our goals shift and change, our life direction shifts and changes, and that typically impacts the people who are in our life. They impact relationships, they impact marriages, they impact business relationships as well, partnerships. So a part of you is ready to be let go of now. There is a part of an aspect of your soul that has done what it needed to do, and you've reached a certain part in your journey now where you're ready to move on to the next level, to the next cycle of your ascension. So there's going to be a lot of shedding, like a snake shedding its skin. There's going to be a lot of releasing old patterns. There's going to be a lot of releasing old karma as well. So there may be a period where you feel a lot of kind of like spiritual or karmic heaviness, density, or even baggage. And that is a South Node energy in your first house. So you may feel that. You may even feel that physically, emotionally. So be very cautious and conscious of that, because that energy can feel very intense as well. Like the South Node energy is not one to play with. It can be very intense. And if at any point you feel like, you're not feeling your best, definitely get yourself professional medical advice and help. If you're not feeling your best at any point, take care of yourself. Get yourself checked up and make sure you're all good. Okay, because this is impacting the first house. So then, let's move on to the 7th house. The North Node being the 7th house shows that there is a focus on relationships. As much as there's a focus on you, that mirrors, that impacts, that ripples out and affects relationships. So that's a major theme for this year as well, especially because you're going to have the eclipses. And we got retrogrades occurring. We got Saturn and Neptune in your 7th house, but they will move into the 8th house. So there's going to be a lot of energy and a lot of activity around relationships. It's very likely that some relationships will come to an end. It's very likely, and that's not me, being fearful and putting like fear out there and what have you. No. I mean, we've got a Venus retrograde happening in the 7th house. We have Mercury retrograde happening in the 7th house. We have Saturn and Neptune moving in and out of the 7th house. We have eclipses occurring in the 1st and 7th house. Like, that is a typical manifestation of endings, breakups, departing, separating. But as much as it's the endings, it's also new beginnings. It's also change. It's also new relationships coming to fruition. And this will occur for you at different stages. It won't happen to everyone at the same time. It won't happen to everyone in each of the eclipses we're having this year. It really just depends on your chart and how you're being impacted and where your degrees are and what other transits are occurring for you. So just bear that in mind. But when we do have eclipses, and you can see the dates on the screen, we got a lunar eclipse on March the 14th. At the same time, we're going to have Venus in Pisces. We're going to have Mercury going retrograde, but then it will move into Pisces. So there's a lot of focus on relationships and partnerships this year. There's also going to be a lunar eclipse in Pisces on September the 7th. There's going to be a solar eclipse on September the 21st. So major life changes can occur. Now, even though the South Node is in the 1st house and the North Node is in the 7th house, often when you have eclipses, they can impact all major areas of life. So we're looking at the 1st house, we're looking at the 7th house, but we're also looking at the 4th house, home, family dynamics, your personal life, your security, your stability, and also we're looking at the 10th house, career, goals, and ambitions, and achievements. So that's all major. Eclipses bring major life changes, endings, and beginnings. So just be mindful that whatever is occurring in your life, whatever changes are presented in your life, just know that they're there for your expansion. And yes, some things can be very difficult and tricky, and challenges can arise, and there can be some complex situations, but your higher self and the universe, the stars at this point want you to make a major life change, and they're pushing you into that direction. And sometimes that means the old has to go. The old has to go can be people. It could be ideologies. It could be certain goals. So this is going to be a major turning point for you. Major turning point. Now, we're also going to have Venus and Mercury in retrograde. They will begin in Aries, which means they will affect your 8th house. You've already had the North Node in your 8th house, but that energy will still continue. So we're looking at taking a relationship to the next level, the serious aspect of relationships, apart from just getting the ring, getting married, the romance, the honeymoon. The 8th house is more than that. It's about joint resources. It's about soul. It's about depth. It's about merging together. It's about intimacy. It's about transformation. It's about transcending. So there's a lot of shifts and changes occurring, a lot of navigating, reanalyzing, re-strategizing, rethinking. And this is a time where it's going to be a process. Yes, some things may happen out of the blue. Some things may happen while you're expecting them. Some things can really surprise you, but it's going to be a process and a journey. And it's a very important part of your life journey. Now, Saturn and Neptune will also be moving into Aries, moving into your 8th house. So again, this is emphasizing in all that I spoke about, taking relationships to the next level, shared finances, shared resources, intimacy, merging together. And this could go even deeper with major life events. You know, this is the area of life that rules over death and rebirth. And you can see that as a metaphor. You can see it from a very spiritual lens. But this is going to be a time where those rose-tinted glasses regarding this area of life are going to be shattered by Saturn. And it may be more tense, and it may be a serious time in your life. But this is also that you can evolve and channel the wise woman, the wise man, the sage that you are. This is taking your maturity to another level, okay? Now let's get into some positive aspects, because there are some positive transits occurring. Now it depends on how you interpret them, and again, how it may affect you. But on June the 9th, Jupiter enters Cancer. So it moves out of your 10th house and it moves into your 11th house. So this could bring a lot of expansion and growth when it comes to friendships, when it comes to communities, when it comes to your social life, when it comes to also your hopes and wishes for the future. Sometimes all these transits can happen very simultaneously, where there's positivity there. Yes, there's some challenges to navigate through, but sometimes we focus on the more challenging stuff where we miss out on the positive stuff. Or sometimes it's just that the more heavier transits are more overpowering, which kind of limits us from experiencing the positive transits that are occurring at the same time to the fullest. So I want you to really tap into Jupiter in the 11th. You know, if you need to socialize a little more and get out of your shell a little more, like, you're probably going to be in your hermit mode during this time due to these transits. But if you feel like you could really do with the extra support to really get out there and, you know, join a community or you know, be out with your friends more, do it because it's going to be very beneficial for you, and it can bring a lot of expansion and growth as well. You may even find yourself meeting people where you have just shared ideologies with, shared philosophies with, and you want to create with them. Now, another very major and interesting life change that's occurring, the transit that is going to be really exciting, is on July the 7th, Uranus, the planet of change, the planet of revolution, is moving into Gemini. Gemini rules over your 10th house. This is your career. This is your goals, your ambitions, okay? This is where you find your achievements. In a way, it also rules over your life path and your life directions, a huge part of your identity. So when Uranus moves into an area of life, it shakes things up. Sometimes if you're used to a certain type of routine, which you definitely are as a Virgo dominant, if you're used to a certain type of structure, a certain type of stability, Uranus can break that down. So that's where it can get really challenging and uncomfortable. If you're not used to being kind of more free and going with the flow, if you're not used to taking life as it is and going along with the different opportunities that are presented or available to you, it can be a challenge. Uranus can also make you very restless. It can bring sudden changes that not only can impact your career, but can also impact your 4th house that is opposite, that rules over your stability and your security. This is a time where you may want to try new things, and you kind of want to also break out of the routine you've been in. And it kind of leaves you a little conflicted, because there's a part of you that needs routine to feel secure, to feel like you're functioning your best. But then at the same time, here's this transit, Uranus, coming along where you're feeling so restless and you need a change, and you don't know what kind of change you need, but you just need a change where you can be like a rebel out of a cause. This sometimes can manifest in terms of like changing careers. So there can be a period where it's unstable for a while because you don't really know what you want. You're just going with the change that keeps on presenting itself within you. So again, major life change, but this can also be exciting. It can be exciting where a new opportunity can come into your life, and it's very liberating, and it's exciting, and it's different, and it just brings out another part of you. It brings out another version of you that you haven't really tapped or experienced. So those are some of the major themes of the year. Now, something else to make a note of is on June the 17th, Mars will enter your sign. So when Mars enters your sign, this is when you have a lot of energy, a lot of stamina, and a lot of momentum. So this is a time where you may be very action orientated, and you can achieve quite a lot and accomplish a lot of goals. So during this time, work with your energy, because there is a lot of success available to you, because Mars gets the job done. So Virgo rising, a huge year ahead for you. Major life changes are on the way. They are on the way. They are ready to take you to the next level of your evolution, of your ascension, and get ready to expand. So I hope you have an incredible transformational year ahead. I can't wait to speak with you and catch up with you, and I'll see you very soon. Sending you so much love.